What I realized also pretty quickly as I was trying to build these companies and delegate, and something that you should learn too, 80% of the workers right here in the middle, they're doing something, they're working a job, but they're somewhere between. Like if a better job came, they'd probably take it. And I realized really quickly that all the best hires I've ever made were in that 80%. 2012 year was the most stressful year of my business. We did about $600,000 of revenue. It was our second year. I was stressed out. I was working 90 hours a week. I slept in a warehouse. I had a situation so bad with chafing because I hadn't showered in 4 days. I was driving a box truck all day. I was loading in the warehouse all night. I was doing customer service from 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. before doing it all over again for a week straight. I lost 20 pounds, and I had a mental breakdown on the side of the road in 2012. 2013, we took some ownership over this situation and realized it wasn't our employees' fault. It wasn't the supplier's fault. It wasn't the vendor's fault. It wasn't the economy's fault. It was my fault as a business owner. It's me. Everything finally my partner, my business partner, who I am still business partners with today, he looked at me and said, "Nick, we got to stop complaining. It's not getting us anywhere. We got to take some ownership over this." He's like, "Nick, next time I complain, tell me I'm an idiot. Tell me to shut up and tell me that it's my fault." So me and Dan, my business partner, made this thing where every time one of us would complain, we'd say, "Hey, it's your fault. Hey, one of my employees ran a box truck." Have you ever been to Boston? You guys ever been to Boston? There's this road called Sturo Drive. Box trucks are not allowed on Sturo Drive because the overpass is about this high. One of our employees, yeah, sure enough, 2013, we had barely any money. It was our truck too. Cruising down Sturo Drive. Oh man, we're doing great today. Whoosh, the whole top of the truck gets cut off. 2 hours later, truck driver put diesel fuel in a gasoline engine. And another guy who we were working way too hard, we were doing way too much. He was working around the clock for 4 or 5 days. He's like, "Fuck these guys, I'm gone." Put the vehicle in park over in Brighton and left. Left the vehicle there. That was our 2012. 2013, we simplified the job so that these employees that we were hiring didn't need to be good at 30 things. They needed to be good at 5. We took customer service off their plate. We took scheduling off their plate. Instead of making invoices on the spot, we had them take pictures of stuff. We just made some things. We did some things to make the thing more efficient. It got a lot better. And a lot of people say, "Nick, you know, when I structured this, when I made the business simpler for the people that were in it," how am I doing, guys? Am I doing all right? Okay. What do employees want in a job? And again, when you're listening to media, when you're on social media, when you're reading books about people, what do employees want in a job? They want autonomy. They want to be their own boss. They want to solve problems. They want a dynamic, exciting, unpredictable environment. They want minimal guidance. They don't want a micromanager. They want to build all their own schedules. They want an environment of like excitement. That's all bullshit. If they wanted those things, they'd be an entrepreneur. They would go start their own company if they wanted an unpredictable paycheck, if they wanted to be cut in on profits, if they wanted to solve problems all day, they'd go start their own company. You realize really quick that employees don't want any of that. They want to be told what to do, they want to show up, they want to succeed, and they want to turn off their computer at 5 o'clock and go home and watch Netflix. That's what the average person wants to do. We're in this room because we're built a little bit different, but in 2012 I thought everybody's like me. They're just going to solve problems. They're going to be great at doing a lot of things like I am. I was really, really, really wrong. Employees are not like entrepreneurs. They don't want to solve problems. Turns out when there's problems and you have a boss that you can pass those problems to, life is pretty good. They want to go home at 5 p.m. and enjoy their lives, basically. They want a predictable way to win. They want to succeed. They want to be in an environment of success. They want to be good at their jobs. They want to feel like they're adding value to the company. And then they want to go home. So what I realized also pretty quickly as I was trying to build these companies and delegate, and something that you should learn too, is that there's a workforce, and let's just say there's 100% of people in a workforce. Let's just say that this is the workforce. We have 10% over here. They're the real losers. They're looking for a job or they're unemployed. We have the 10% over here, and they're in career nirvana. It's perfect. A better opportunity could come and they would say no because they're really happy with how things are going. But 80% of the workers right here in the middle, they're doing something, they're working a job, but they're somewhere between. Like if a better job came, they'd probably take it. And I realized really quickly that all the best hires I've ever made were in that 80%. They're not going to come apply for my jobs. They've already got jobs. They've already got a boss that really likes them and doesn't want to lose them because they're good. And so what do I have to do? I got to go hunt them down and find them. So instead of just posting a job and hoping great employees would come in, I turned into a lion on a rock. and I was a hunter. I used to be a fisherman. I was fishing for people to come to work for me. I'd throw out some bait, Craigslist job post, and I would hope those unicorns would just bite on that line and come work for my company. Realized pretty quickly that the best employees aren't looking around for jobs. You got to go find them. They're working for somebody. They have a boss they like. They have a boss that really likes and needs them. So you got to go hunt them down. I'm going to give you a tactical way to hire people. Everybody talks about building amazing culture, having ping pong tables and kegs of beer in your office and stuff like that. That's not realistic for me. I don't know what situation you guys are in. I keep business cards in my back pocket all the time. I was in Walmart. It was about 8 p.m. I was in Ithaca, New York. And I saw this kid at Walmart, 25 years old, clean cut. He was running to the parking lot with a vest on, with a Walmart vest. He was running. Went around, got all the carts, got about 6 or 7 carts, and he sprinted with the carts, and on his way by, there was a Walmart sack on the ground, and he scooped it up and shoved it in his back pocket, and he was hustling. I was like, I've never seen this before. Every employee that I've ever seen working at Walmart is kind of, they don't want to be there. They're getting paid $12 an hour. They're not getting paid by the cart. Oh shit, the slower I walk, the longer I get to work, the less work I have to do. This kid cared. He cared about the job, which I'd never seen about anybody at Walmart. Walked up to him and I was like, hey, his name was Josh. I was like, Josh, why are you going so fast? He goes, well, the person I'm working with didn't show up today, and we only got about 6 carts up front, and there's people coming in. There's always a little bit of a rush about 8 or 9 o'clock because people come in after they get their kids to bed and shop, and we don't have any carts. And I'm like, okay, this kid thinks different. Pulled out the business card. Hey, Josh, I'm Nick. I knew he made $12 an hour. I pay attention to what people make in different industries. I said, I don't know if you know somebody. You might have any friends that kind of work like you. It seems like you're a really good worker. I run a moving and storage company. We pay $20 an hour. If you know anybody who was looking for a job, have them give me a call or shoot me an email. 4 hours later, my phone rings. It's not Josh's friend. It's him. He called me, went to work for me for the next month, and he was one of the best hires that we ever had. Worked in Ithaca, traveled into DC, making $25 an hour. I wish I could say that he still worked for me today, but I lost him. But that's the stuff you got to do. You're at a bar and you see somebody who just cares. They're attentive, they can read the room, they're looking around, they're competent. Boom, pull out the business card, hand it to them. I don't like to pick on the small businesses, pick on Walmart, pick on Target, pick on the big guys. When you're interviewing somebody, this is a tactical approach for a little bit higher end, higher end employees, somebody you're going to manage people. Let's say I'm interviewing somebody and I'm like, hey, do you want to come to work for me? What do you want in a job? Generally, you're just asking a bunch of questions about them. What I like to do is kind of figure out what their goals are and figure out if my business can deliver on those goals. What I call is the motivational interview. I'll say, hey, let's pretend that 10 years, 5 years from now, you're still at my company. And this is an interview. They're just seeing if they want to work for me. Let's say 5 years from now, you still work for me, and you walk in and we sit in this very room, and things are going freaking awesome. I ask you how you're doing, and you say things are great. I'm having the most fun I've ever had in my career. I'm healthy, my family's amazing, and I love my job. I love working at this company. Tell me what you're doing. We're pretending. What are you doing? How big's the team you're managing? How much money are you making? How much are you working? What kind of problems are you solving? And you just shut up and let that person talk. And what you'll learn really quickly is what that person wants in a job. What are their motivations? And 2 things will happen. Number 1, you'll figure out if you can actually deliver that at a company. And number 2, you'll figure out if the person wants and needs the same things that you can actually deliver.
Big news, guys. I created a free PDF that details my method on how I analyze a self-storage facility and figure out what it's worth. Give me a pen, the back of a napkin, and a couple metrics, and I can figure out about what the property is going to be worth to me. If you want to download this PDF, click in the show notes, the first link, and you can give me your email address, and you get a email right away with a 4-page PDF that outlines exactly how I think about underwriting or giving my initial analysis on a self-storage facility. Again, click the link in the show notes, and you're going to get that document for free.
This episode of Sweaty Startup is brought to you by Support Shepherd
shepherd.com. SHEPHERD. They are a full-service headhunting agency in the Philippines to help you find talent for your service business at 20% of the cost of U.S. equivalents. I've hired 8 employees through Support Shepherd. I cannot speak highly enough about how it is revolutionizing my business. This company finds you candidates. They background check them. They do personality tests. They make sure they're a good fit based on your job description. They set up the interviews, and they even help you with the employment contract when you're ready to make the hire. I cannot recommend them enough. Check out supportshepherd.com to learn more.